This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, and you are listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back here at the rehearsals for the last match musical with a friend of the show. Got to put over Battlefield Pro Wrestling, of course.
Always looking crisp.
Throw them up. Just throw them up now. We got lots to talk about. Afa Jr. Thanks for making a few minutes. How are you, bro?
Thanks for
so
having
much.
me, man. I'm tired.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm tired. I just had a crazy last 2 weeks from WrestleMania all the way through rehearsals, and last night was my father's farewell show in Florida.
Oh wow.
So that was last night, and I'm here today. This
Look at
morning.
you.
So I made it back.
You got
Always
the
a pro.
reins to something. You got handed.
That's right.
past the
No pun
torch.
intended.
Yeah.
So it's not Battlefield. There's another promotion.
There is another promotion. So, as everyone knows, I have Battlefield Pro Wrestling. I own that, and we've been running that on Premier Streaming Network and throughout the Northeast. Also, my father's company, WXW, World Extreme Wrestling, has been around for the last 27 years. He had just retired and stepped away from the business completely.
Wow.
For the first time in 80 years, I'm pretty much going to say it's the first time in my whole life that I've ever seen my dad not have the business around him. Wow. Not that it's not around him, but you know what I mean, that he's running and calling the shots. So my father, he stepped down and he passed the torch, to me. So I will be taking over WXW, and I also will be running Battlefield Pro Wrestling, two completely separate companies. It's a lot to do, but I'm up for the task.
Awesome, man. We'll get into the last match stuff real quick, but shameless promo. I got to give you your flowers. We always like to do that here on the show.
Thank you.
Battlefield, obviously I got to put over Vicky, because this way I don't sleep on the couch.
That's right.
But smart man. But Afa, I got to say, she's thankful for the opportunities you give her as well, but also put over some of your students, because I was saying to Bull, sometimes you work a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of opportunities, and she got to work, I believe it was Kate Thorne.
Yep.
Was blown away.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull it back too much, but was blown away. I said to Vicky, I'm like, you might be her, with respect to your family, of course, you might be her Roman.
Mm-hmm.
They got a little something going, and sometimes you have that dance partner. I'm an outsider looking in, but I mean, they're both very good.
Right.
But
Yeah,
this
sometimes
girl
it just
might,
clicks.
Yeah, this girl might be ahead of her years. Put her over
Yeah.
Battlefield, man.
So Kate Thorne is my youngest active performer in the Battlefield. She just turned 18.
Wow, good for her.
So when she wrestled Vicky, I believe that was her third match ever.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that first time, that was her third match. She's had a couple since their second go. But their second go, they beat the crap out of each other, man. And I really loved it.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
loved it. But yeah, so Kate Thorne has been busting her butt. She's also in the theater world. So she has that background. Also, one of my students, Terry Adonis, he just got casted as the Cannonball
He's being Cannonball in this.
He's
Nice.
going to be the
Okay.
Cannonball.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
So that's another one of my students. Those two, pretty much top of their class. We have a lot of great students like V Marino and JJ Smith. We have. Man, the list goes on and on. We got Code Red. We got, if you're a fan of the Battlefield, pretty much 90% of the people in the Battlefield train at the Battlefield, and then the other 10% are the top of the class. You know what I mean? It's the top of the lineup in the independent circuit. So that's what we offer at the Battlefield. And now that WXW is coming, it's going to be a whole new beast. There's a lot of history coming with there, so that's going to be very fun to plan that creatively.
It's a good product. Shout out Big Sean, everyone over there. Got to shout you guys out, all the love.
Yeah, Big Sean and STF, the production team, like the whole Battlefield crew, man. I couldn't do it without all of them. You know what I mean? We have no weak links. Everybody from the ring crew all the way up to the main event guys, like everybody pulls their weight. There's no egos involved, and we're happy around here. And we're rooting
great
each
to
other
hear,
on.
yeah.
It's like it's cliche, but we're like a big family. The Battlefield really is a big family.
As it should be.
We go out together, we hang out together. We're always together. We travel together. We do other independent shows together. We do ring crew together. Like it's the way I was brought up in the business through WXW. So it's the way that it's the only way I know how to pass back and raise this next generation.
I love it, man. Let's talk shop a little bit. What we got off. You were so proud of what you had accomplished in the first run of this show. Now
As
you
you should
guys
be.
are going on tour. We talked to Bull about it. You got some new actors and actresses coming in.
Yep.
Some of them don't even know what pro wrestling is, bro. How's it been this time around? Because let's be real, Ramin, I think he did a show at Outlaw.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
he
man.
wanted to train. He fell in love with it. We talked about it before. The Broadway audience and the Broadway actors seeing the wrestling fan reaction.
Such a
to
cool
this,
mix.
Man. What's the feeling right now with these rehearsals and this new crowd?
I think it's going great. You know, obviously this cast is a little bit different than the last cast, so I don't really like to compare. You know, because they're different. You know, we had some age things to handle with in the last one that we don't have this time. You know, so we have youth on our side this time. But it's just a brand new world for them. So it's going to take them, you know, just the reps, you know, getting in the ring and getting there, you know, breaking a sweat, so to speak, in there to get used to it. But I feel like this cast right here is going to do an outstanding job. The vocals that they have are just as good, if not better, than the last.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
I'm not
Bold
saying that
statement.
as a shot to.
No,
I'm not saying a shot, but I'm saying
Gonna
tickets.
say it. Yeah.
He knows how to
Man,
move
they
tickets.
did good. They did good. The vocals in
That's
here
great
is
to hear.
amazing. I'm still getting goosebumps even all through rehearsals. I've been here for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a great time.
I heard you have a pretty good singing voice through the grapevine. Just
Just throwing that out there.
Allegedly.
Fair enough. And your excitement level right now, because you guys are taking it on the road. It's not
Yeah, you
just
can
here in
feel
Jersey City. Bull's very excited. You're no stranger to traveling the whole planet, man.
Right.
What's your excitement level going on this tour?
Oh, I'm really excited to get back on the road. It's, you know, between wrestling and this, and to do wrestling and this, it's a combination of both for me. So it's a blessing, you know, just to be on the road and travel the road with my brothers like Bull and Matt, and you know, and to be able to bring some of my students along the way, and you know, a couple of the guys that we're going to be casting throughout the tour, you know, as one night guys, and there's a lot of cool things that's going to happen, you know, in the musical.
I think that's cool because, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm guessing the philosophy is like, we might be showcasing some different indie talent as we go along. I don't know if that's kind of the philosophy, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you know, we're going to be showcasing a lot of wrestling talent all along the way. So pretty much every stop along the way, you'll see some new talent that you might not see in the night before. So it's one of those tours where it's like, man, if you come to one show, it's not that you've seen every show. You know what I mean? Like other shows, you go to one show and it doesn't change. It's the same show every night. This show will have a different feel pretty much every night, and that's what's exciting about it for me, and that's what, you know, keeps me going.
I love it. I got to ask the cliche one. You already know where it's going off of, man. First of all, I'm glad to see you healthy and doing well. I think Pops is healthy and doing well now, man. You're killing it, man. He was the opener at the beginning of the last show. I think Bull said there were some changes, man, but those two, you guys always slug it out. So come for that. I got to ask you, man, you know, WrestleMania, we saw a lot of the family a lot of stuff going on with the family. We saw Tama Tonga show up the other day.
Yeah.
A lot of rumors, and I'm not that guy, I'm not going to poke and prod. A lot of rumors Jacob Fatu might be involved. I'll leave it at that. Can we see Afa Jr. please back with the bloodline, man? Your thoughts on that, man? I don't want to poke too much, but I got to ask, man.
Well, you know,
want to see him back.
There was rumors that I was spotted around Philadelphia on night 2.
Oh, okay.
Again, speculation.
Okay.
Speculated. All right, we'll leave it at that.
Anything could happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
I think we're gonna have to be
Nice.
I think before next time we talk to him, we're gonna have to go through some proper channels before we're able to talk to him again. Afa, thanks for a few minutes.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it, brother.
Continue success,
Thank you,
man.
man.
The BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks Podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back our sponsors, Sweet Chin Musings.
Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome in our new sponsor for the month of April, ISPW, Independent Superstars of Pro Wrestling, ahead of their event at Hopatcong High School, Friday, April 12th at 7:30 p.m., featuring WWE legend and guest ISPW General Manager Typhoon. Also, check out their event, War at the Williams Center, featuring former WWE superstar Gangrel. And of course, don't forget the marquee event, 80s Wrestling Con, ISPW Rockin' Wrestling 3 at the Menon Sports Arena in Morristown, New Jersey. Again, immediately following 80s Wrestling Con, Saturday, May 4th. Get your tickets now, and be sure to follow ISPW across the board on all socials. Please welcome back one of our favorite podcast sponsors, Key Nation, featuring our very own BCP and BCP Plus contributor, Mr. Wayne Keener. Make sure to follow Key Nation on TikTok and Instagram for great puns, memes, dad jokes, and random ridiculous content. Thank you, Wayne, for sponsoring the BCP. Don't forget to check out one of our newest sponsors here on the BCP, Chop City Wrestling. Chop City Wrestling is where our pal Ryan Steniford takes chops from wrestlers and donates $20 to Connor's Cure for every chop he takes. Follow his adventures on his YouTube channel for all those chops and some great pro wrestling content, all for a good cause. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and thank you, Ryan, for sponsoring the BCP. Please welcome in our new podcast sponsor, From the Left Side. From the Left Side has all of your wrestling and sports news. Check out From the Left Side at facebook.com/From the Left Side with On Air E, and be sure to hit that follow button. Thank you, From the Left Side. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Connor McCollum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure, with over $150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Please welcome in our new BCP sponsors for the year of 2024, Bree Combination Wrestling. Ahead of their event, Queen of the North 5. It is the most prestigious women's tournament in the Northeast and their favorite event of the year, Saturday, April 20th, 2024, at the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Get your tickets now at qotn5.eventbrite.com. Thank you, BCW. Guys, I want to shout out the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast. WrestleMania weekend, you have 2 chances to attend live recordings of the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast, starring Matt Hardy alongside host John Alba. First at WrestleCon at 4 p.m. for only $25, as Matt and John talk all things TLC. And later that night, don't forget a special opportunity for workers, ring announcers, commentators, and of course, in-ring talent. A rare live recording of the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast where wrestlers can ask questions of the woken, broken, and spoken one himself. And don't forget, workers, this is for you. Commentators, ring announcers, and of course, in-ring talent for just $15 and free for Monster Factory students. Get your tickets now and contact John Alba SFC at gmail.com. We'll see you there April 5th.